and innovation in the realm of human resources. This time's conclave promises to be an exceptional gathering of some of the brightest minds and industry leaders in the HR field. We are delighted to have a diverse and distinguished group of guests who have graciously accepted our invitation to share their insights and expertise. We would now like to introduce each one of them.
We have Ms. Shri Satya, a seasoned HR professional with a wealth of experience spanning over 70 years in various strategic roles within the IT and IIM industry. Currently serving as the senior manager at Genpact Tech Services, she has demonstrated expertise in generalist HR, business partner HR, strategic HR, and functional HR. With a solid academic foundation, she holds double postgraduate degree in human resource development from Samanvaya Pune University and human resource administration from Osmania University. Her commitment to excellence extends beyond traditional HR practices, as evidenced by certification in Six Sigma and Lean methodology. We welcome you. We have Mr. Sangeet, Nyapati, a seasoned professional with an impressive career spanning over 90 years. Currently, he holds the position of Country HR Lead at Bradstreet, Technology and Corporate Services Editor. With an exceptional background in leading people consulting practice in BFSI Global Capability Centers and product development organizations, he has played a pivotal role in major transformation projects at both global and country level. His expertise extends across various domains, including talent strategy, learning, and leadership development, and a strong belief in positioning human resource as a true business driver. His notable accomplishments include successfully leading global transformational projects, such as the adoption of agile methodologies from people practices perspective and the implementation of career pathing in large banking captive organizations. His passion for people advancement and business acumen has been recognized by both business and people partners. He has actively contributed to the global CIO leadership table and has been a part of steering committees for major change and risk management programs. Currently, he is preparing for certification from the Neuroscience Leadership Institute and is actively pursuing a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion values and philosophy. He is also an active member of the Association of Change Management Professionals. We welcome you, sir.
Next we have Dr. Jude, Xavier, who is a seasoned HR professional with over 25 years of experience in various fields including manufacturing, healthcare, BPO, IT, and banking. Currently serving as the Senior Director of Human Resources at Omega Healthcare, he has held significant leadership positions in well-known organizations such as Exxon, Polaris Software Limited, AIG System Solutions, Emphasis, Cone Elevators, Trident Software, Virtual and Scope International Standard Chartered Bank. His education background is extensive, holding a doctorate in social work, a master's in social work with a specialization in human resources, and a bachelor's in psychology. He also possesses several diplomas in HR and business management. He's received numerous prestigious awards throughout his career, including being recognized as one of the 50 most talented HR tech leaders of Asia Pacific and the HR Professional of the Year by Human Capital of India. His leadership played a crucial role in achieving accolades for TechnoSoft, such as the 100 Best Companies for Women Award and the Chennai Best Employer Brand Award. Reflecting on his journey, he emphasizes the importance of being versatile and adaptable, playing roles such as a peacemaker, coach, referee, guide, cheerleader, and class monitor. These traits have enabled him to bring unique value to the organizations he has served, contributing to their success and recognition. We welcome you, sir. Next, we have Ms. Krithika, a seasoned HR professional with over 17 years of comprehensive experience in managing the entire hire to retire life cycle across leading organizations globally. With a diverse background, she's made significant contributions to renowned companies such as Gramenor, Continental Automotive, Minubia Intech, Leeboy, and currently serves as the head of HR for Mercedes-Benz Financial Services India Private Limited. Her expertise extends beyond geographical boundaries, having worked in both India and the UK across various industries. Her impactful initiatives in employee engagement have left a lasting impression on multiple entities globally. Beyond the corporate lanes, Krithika ma'am is a MasterChef finalist showcasing her culinary prowess and an upwell badminton player highlighting her passion for a well-rounded and active lifestyle. We welcome you, ma'am.
We have Mr. Shashank as the moderator of the session. He is a distinguished professional with over 7 years of talent acquisition experience, currently serving as talent acquisition partner at Bradstreet. He has contributed significantly to leading companies like Novartis and Valuable. In his impressive career, he has led end-to-end campus recruitment, established crucial policies like the Employee Referral Program and internal mobility, and successfully implemented applicant tracking systems. The notable contribution includes playing a pivotal role in building talent acquisition processes for a global capability center. Educationally, he holds PGD and specialized in human resource management. Additionally, he has shared his insights through a published paper titled Employee Management, Tool of Talent Retention, a study of a pharmaceutical company. We welcome you, sir. We will request Ms. Deepa Verma to please come and felicitate. Ms. Sri Satya Swapna. Sangeet Nyapati. Thank you so much, sir. We would now request Dr. Prakash to please come and felicitate the guests. Dr. Jude. Ms. Krithika Sivanesan. Thank you. So much, sir. We now request Professor Sharma to please come and felicitate Mr. Shashank. Our distinguished guests bring a wealth of experience, knowledge, and a passion for driving positive change in the world of HR. They are visionaries who have made significant contributions to shaping the future of human resource, and we are incredibly fortunate to have them with us today. Throughout the conclave, we encourage the participants to engage, network, and absorb the wealth of wisdom our guests bring to the table. Their perspective, their experience, and the invaluable insights that they are going to offer. We are confident that the interaction over the few hours will spark innovative ideas, foster meaningful connections, and inspire each one of you in your professional journey. So without further ado, let us join hands in extending a heartfelt welcome to our esteemed guests. Their presence here today reflects their commitment to advancing the field of HR, and we are grateful for the opportunity to learn from their insights. May this annual HR Conclave be a platform for inspiration, collaboration, and growth. Let's make the most of this unique gathering as together we navigate the ever-evolving landscape of human resources. The stage is yours.
Hi all, good afternoon. My name is Shashank, as you all heard. So let's not waste the time. So we have so many seasoned HR sitting over here, and I would like to ask questions on behalf of you all guys and take the most out of this session. So I also request guests to share their real-time experiences in the organization, because I also believe that most of these students study theory and look at the data and the papers, but when it comes to the real-time experience, only you guys can share. Okay, so the general question to the panel. So, when the theme of this Samanvaya, okay, the technological change and how to balance in terms of the employee engagement. So, does this employee engagement definition remains the same during the technology change, or do you see any other different definition? Just wanted to. It's an open question for anyone in the panel.
Okay, for HR, it's difficult to be on this side of the table because we are used to ask questions, not answers them. But employee engagement has been there ever since the corporates have come, much before that, right, in different forms. Did they change after technology has come in? Yes, but not just for the technology reason, but also because the generation that is coming into the corporate world also has different set of aspirations and what they want to be engaged about. Do they want what kind of careers they want? How do they want to grow? How do they want to balance personal life? So the expectations of the employee who's coming in also change. So accordingly, organizations have been adopting to the requirement of employee, and of course they are using technology because the larger the organization, the better it gets when you use the technology. So I agree to that point. Yeah, technology we are utilizing to make the experience better.
Thank you. Any other?
Okay, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here amongst and for this great occasion. Thank you very much to the team, well coordinated. So, with regard to employee engagement and technology, so let's go back 3-4 years back. This is pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. That's where the terrific change happened with technology as well as employee engagement. Before pandemic, everything was just technology was there, employee engagement was there, because everything happened in one roof. So we Indians in India, we didn't have the concept of working from home. It's all started, it was very new for us. It's not only new for us, but for the students, for everybody, for teachers, for professors, even teachers learned what is Zoom and all that, because they didn't know about Zoom. I'm talking about school teachers and all that. So there was a lot of learning for all of us. So pre-pandemic, everything was business as usual, but post-pandemic is what we had a challenge, because technology happening is in the organization, but employees were sitting at home. So before it was all in one roof, but now we need to have both technology and employees. Now the challenge is employees, whoever has gone back home, when we ask them to come, please come, or no, come to office, they say, sorry, we are able to deliver, we can deliver from home. So the major challenge what we have is how could we equip our technology in terms of meeting the employee engagement is a major challenge for us, because one is we need to have the best of the tools, the automation tools, because for attendance, it's one of our major concern, because being in a healthcare industry, we work 50% of our workforce is in hybrid model. Can you imagine a BPO working 50%? Yes, IT, they can work from home, they can deliver and all that, but a BPO company, a healthcare BPO company which has HIPAA policies and all that, 50% of our workforce work from home. So we need to have the best in class tools. So everything, so we bring in the best in class tools because we need to have these clocking of attendance is very important, and HIPAA violations, because all our clients, they very much look into in terms of how secure is the system, how secure is the data, because we work on insurance related details of our clients. It's very important. Even one violation will remove the complete project for us. So attendance is one thing, quality of work is also very important. We have to monitor. So we have a lot of systems. One is, and also the feedback of employees. So there's a three combination. So we need to look at the employee satisfaction and all that, where we have this. I think you would have heard about Amber tool. Amber is a bot, which is AI driven bot, and it gives a constant feedback every 20 days, 30 days, 6 months, 3 months of an employee. How satisfied is the employee with work, with his manager, everything. At the same time, we have a tool called Pronouns. Okay. And this tool talks about whether the person is on the system for 8.5 hours or 9 hours, and whether the person is working. Because the persons are working at home. And third is Aspire tool, which is again, which checks the quality of work, whether any violations are there. So, as you said, post-pandemic, it's always a major challenge because we have to meet the expectations of employees and the technology has to go hand in hand.
Thank you so much. Okay.
So probably I'll take a last cabbage. Okay, so I think you've heard from Swapna and Jude, but let me give you a very different tangential perspective, right? Now we'll talk about technology. Technology has been evolving for the past 1900 years. So let's not talk about technology. I'm not so keen on technology and the impact of it, because that's something that we'll probably dwell in subsequent questions. What did not change in the last 30, 40 years is there are 3-4 aspects of human mindset that have not changed. Number one is an individual's desire for each other's colleagues' connectedness, right? Irrespective of whether you are living in the era of AI or whether you're living in the era of second or third industrial revolution, doesn't matter. Your personal desire to connect with another fellow human being has not changed. Okay. The second one that didn't change is an individual's aspiration to find meaningful and purposeful ambition in what he or she does. That has not changed. Okay. You talk to your seniors, 12 years who have graduated 12 years back, 11 years back, versus what you are aspiring to do today, or probably next year, 1 year down the lane. It's going to be the same because you want to do something which is purposeful and meaningful in your careers. Money could be one subset of it, giving back to the community is another part of it, and so on and so forth, right? End of the day, your purpose is very important. That doesn't change. The third thing that didn't change is typical human mindset of desire or craving for recognition. Whether you do a stone breaking job, you do an assembly line operation, or someone is fitting something in Mercedes-Benz plant, versus a product engineer or a data scientist who is creating financial or risk models in Dun & Bradstreet. The end outcome is that the person is craving for some level of recognition. Okay. Now, the reason why I gave a very different perspective is that technologies come and go, right? C++, I don't know how many of you have heard about Fortran and COBOL. Have you heard of it? We have. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. Probably you are in the lower kindergarten or upper kindergarten, right? Now, the reason I'm saying is that because technology will keep on evolving, it will keep coming and going. What will not change? And the reason why I'm saying all of this in the context of engagement, because the definition, as per me, right, when I started my career versus now, the definition of employee engagement has not changed. The various manifestations have changed, the side effects have changed, the collaterals have changed, but the foundation of the definition of an engagement, or so-called human engagement, you can call it people engagement, you can call it employee engagement, it has not changed. It remains the same, it has remained the same, and it will remain the same for years to come, irrespective whether you are in the world of metaverse, the world of AI, what sort of deep fake imaging whatsoever, right? Everything is variable, but one thing is constant is the employee engagement definition will never change. It's for sure. It should be there. And last but not the least, before I hand it over to Shashank, is that one thing is, other thing will not change is the human mindset to work and to crave for human connectedness, crave for desire to meaningful purpose work, and third is obviously your recognition. Right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think when during you were speaking, you were saying a lot of human element added in employee engagement. So as part of Mercedes Financial Services, how do you or your team, HR team, takes this technology integration by keeping the core element as human? So how do you your team manage this?
Klaus is going to speak for the first time, but I feel like what he said, the engagement aspect of employees are never going to change. So it's always going to remain the same. As long as I'm motivated enough to come to work, it doesn't matter what platform that is happening in, I'm still going to be motivated enough. As long as my sense of purpose of what I want to do in life and what my company wants to do in its growth path are matching or running in parallel, it's definitely going to result in something that's positive. So that's the, I mean, giving you kind of a very corporate way of expanding engagement for you. So as long as we ensure that ikigai, that purpose is there, that this is why we're going to come, no matter what method. Earlier, we used to give out what Amazon vouchers. Now we have a platform to take care of the rewards of recognition. So as long as I reach out to the person to say that you're doing a great job in whichever platform it is, whether earlier it used to be town halls, in-person sessions, your team meetings, etc. Now we have a platform for it. So not just your team, but the entire organization gets to know about it. So we have onboarded rewards and recognition platforms. There's various available in the market right now, but that is a huge recognition. Social environment in our company is a place where we definitely post all our winners and for any small things, whether it's a gem award, like going the extra mile, or whether it's like an on-spot award that you're giving, any of those awards are given there. So, and again, like the entire organization which sees it, and then either posts a like in that platform or comments saying, hey, congratulations for going the extra mile or whatever, that will satisfy that craving for recognition within the employee. So I think the mode has changed, but the purpose is still the same. So I think there, that's how we tackle it. And I'm hoping that's how most of us do as well.
Adding to what Krithika was talking about, anything to everything, whatever we do is through a tool. So everything is driven by a tool. The purpose, again, I'm emphasizing on why these tools have come is to reach out to people in nook and corners, because everybody is working somewhere in some town, some state, in some flat, in offices. Before, we used to do a town hall where everybody's here and it was a grand function. The leaders used to come, give the awards. And now we have different offices. And all these offices are connected through the tool, through Teams. So everything, and sometimes when we call out the person, he doesn't come to receive the award. But now the award goes directly. So adding to what is one way, have we lost something? Yes, as Sangeet was talking about, that human touch, we are losing. We are losing ground on that. When everybody's there and when everybody's shouting, hey, come on, he's getting the award, that's a different feel. But when it silently goes through a tool, when it flashes, right, the name and all that, everybody looks at it, and the clapping also happens through the tool. The sign comes and all that. Is it so exactly? No way. The excitement is all when we have fun together, when we see, so that's the missing factor. But still, the journey is on. We are in the AI world. So we have to go. We have to go a long way and we have to follow the thing. maybe I think as you said, the fashions, the old fashions are coming back. So maybe after 10 years again, we might be doing a town hall, everybody gather. That might be the thing. The situation will change. So anything could change, but we have to be prepared for situation change. That's very important.
So I would like to drift the topic towards something else now. So can you, I mean, as Jude was mentioning, that human intervention was it's going down. So in your organization, so I mean, can you share us some insights on how did any technology that worked to enhance the employee engagement? I mean, just wanted to understand that.
Definitely. Um, Usage of technology has increased drastically. The requirement of employee engagement has been there from ever since, right? And like he rightly called out, human emotions, requirement to be there with another fellow colleague is a requirement for the human. The usage of technology in last 4-5 years has drastically improved. We use technology earlier, but in a moderate level. And how do we, like Jude said, now we are remotely working. Each one of us are working from different offices, different locations, and some of us are still not going to office. And when we are going only once in a while, right? In that scenario, how are we connecting? And what are the new ways of doing it is what is required. So in our organization, there's an Amber tool that we use, which captures employee experience on a weekly basis. So it reaches out to employee on every quarter. It collects the employee experience. When I say experience, it doesn't collect just the grievance. It collects employee experience as a whole, like about multiple topics. When the first question goes in, there's an answer that the employee is expected to give, and based on this answer, there's a different set of questions. So it's an AI chatbot. It learns on its own and then generates the question as per the answers. And that analysis reaches leadership team as frequently as a weekly basis. So it's a continuous process of understanding their experience, building strategies on a regular basis, understanding what works, what doesn't work, and modify the engagement activities accordingly.
Guys, I think you'll have to make a notes of this technology to Lambert. Okay, you might get some certification in that and correct with that on LinkedIn.
Interactive platforms, right? So
Yeah,
it keeps modifying. One of the changes that happened within the work world, especially because of the hybrid working environment that we have. Earlier, when we talk about training, it's always in person, and it's like 10%. So I think I'm sure all of you who've read management would understand what's the 70-20-10 rule in terms of learning and development, right? So only 10% contributes to classroom training sessions, such as these. 20% is peer-to-peer, and 70% is on the job that you learn on your own. And you have various platforms in which you can go and enhance your knowledge. So one of the things that we as a company hugely invested was on LinkedIn learning, and it's helped people like crazy. We also launched a competition on that. So you could go and do as number of courses you want, like Ekal of the year and stuff like that, just to make it fancy. And we've had people who spent 127 hours in a year on learning new things. Maybe even if they will use 50% of that work, it definitely brings a huge change. And that's completely self. You motivate yourself and you go learn and then you implement it, you perform better and then you get recognized for the same. So that is something that I think the hybrid working or the pandemic has given us in terms of technology, MOOCs and stuff like that. So that definitely has helped most of the organizations, including us.
Thank you. So Sangeet, as Krithika was mentioning, I mean, in terms of learning and development. So can you share us your insights on any tool which you are using in terms of gamification and all those things?
Gamification, honestly, personally, I'm not a huge fan of for machine playing a game with me, and I don't like that. But yeah, I mean, see, technology has evolved, right? So you have today, as you mentioned, right, LinkedIn Learning and all. I think these are good tools, right? But imagine you're going through a certain course or a certain certification or some program over your laptop or your machine, and there's a video scrolling through. Sometimes people also gamify it with it, right? It's dragging. Do lot of manipulation happens there also. But cut short, right? I think what again, I'll go back to the basics, right? I always have believed that there has to be a purpose in what a person is trying to achieve. He or her doesn't matter. Okay. Now, gamification, you will see a lot of these tools and platforms which has evolved. I personally have done tons of LinkedIn courses because sometimes there's a topic that is suddenly come like generative AI. Like, what is generative AI? Either you ask it through a chat GPT, if you have subscribed to a chat GPT 4, obviously you're paying some 3,000-4,000 rupees per month, obviously you'll get a detailed answer. If you're going latching on to 3, probably you'll get a probably slightly bit more obsolete answer. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I use it only until that point of time. That's it. Right? No more researching or digging through the tool, it does not help you in learning in any ways. Trust me this. What will help is find out that 1 or 2 or 3 people in your firm or in your network, right, who have actually worked on Gen AI or for with example Gen AI, and start interacting with him or her and try to dig more in terms of what has been the person's experience on usage of generative AI, as an example, right? Those dialogues and conversations are really, really powerful. Trust me. Okay. I can talk about generative AI for some time. Probably I can talk about Google Cloud Platform for some more time. I can talk about DevOps. I can talk about Terraform. I mean, these are the new age languages that the new age tech workforce are dealing with. Okay. But what again matters is, again, I go back right to the basics of human mindset. Is number 1 is obviously your curiosity to learn new aspects, how flexible and how quickly you're able to adapt and learn a new language. Okay. Trust me, technology is just a lever. The moment you give control to technology, probably you have lost the battle already. Okay. So don't ever succumb to technology, because technology it evolves rapidly. Right. So a lot of firms who have, you would have seen in a lot of these surveys and reports, 60% of the CEOs have raised their hands and committing to invest in AI development, right? Now you have to ask a follow-up question there. How many of them are actually invested? The answer is probably a zilch of it. Okay. Do you know what business models Amazon has failed or probably did not succeed the way they anticipated? Anyone? No? Amazon restaurants, your equivalent of Swiggy and Uber Eats is no longer there. Zomato, yeah. So when Amazon actually launched this in the US, its headquarters, Amazon restaurants was a huge flop. They actually shut down that line of business, right? You would have heard about this for sure. Amazon has started delivering through drones, right? A huge fad, probably for like 4 or 5 months too, right? After it died its natural death. And the biggest reason was regulatory adherence, right? Because you have drones and all, you can't fly, you have this fly zones and no fly zones. See, now all of these, and the reason why I'm telling all of this is because you will come with a lot of this fancy, global business models. But again, at the core of it, what should remain is obviously, your human needs, number 1. Number 2, increasingly because of the geopolitical environment and all, there's a lot of focus on regulatory aspects also, right? So regulation is obviously something which the government enforces. Those aspects also come into picture. Now, a very long answer to your short question, but yes, gamification has changed the world, but I think you should not succumb to gamification too much.
So as
I beg to differ.
yeah,
No,
please. So we need
Please.
no please.
We If you were to ask me to look at somebody who's going to deliver a lecture online for 45 minutes, I'm just going to lose it. I think all of us know 15 minutes is the attention span that you can have. So if your lecturers are giving you anything more than 15 minutes, ask them to take a break. But as I said, the moment I'm going to be very interactive, that is the person who is doing it. Say, for example, the most recent gamification that's highly on trend is Posh. Right now, almost all Posh training courses that are coming into corporates are gamified. And it's fun. I say something to the woman, is it right or wrong? Can I say that or not? And then somebody comes and says, gives one slap on you virtually and says, that is wrong. And then you will never do it again because that leaves an imprint in your mind. So there I feel that little bit of gamification on that training leaves an imprint in you that will teach you things that I would standing here telling you 45 minutes of dude call that person darling or dude call her sweetheart is not going to help. You will immediately do it unless but you will remember that slap from that gamification model. So I think there in certain aspects, I think gamification does help. But like he said, you have to keep that element in mind of all things.
It's a very dangerous thing to simulate in.
I'm with her on that, primarily because again my organization is investing into gamification of learning portal. Reason why we are doing again the generation that is coming in, they do not want to go through long lectures at all. They do not want to go through a long training programs, 2 months, 3 months, no. For example, would you watch a 2-hour long YouTube or would go through 10 Insta Reels? I would go for a 10 Insta Reels because I can see them in smaller portions and I can see them whenever I want. I don't have to stress, right? So that's what a lot of our organizations are doing to train their employees or to help them learn, upskill, and give the freedom to the employee to pick up whatever they want to learn and with whichever speed and at wherever they want to, at whichever place they are in. So they are all learning at their own pace in the direction they want to. Of course, there is a guidance, but it helps rapidly without having to push employees. So I think that's a great area.
I have a round the topic, Walmart, right? So, 2 questions I'll ask you. Walmart employees. First of all, Walmart is successful? Is a successful organization? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Second question is, are the employees very happy or they're not happy? What is their ENPS score?
They're not happy.
They are not happy. Why?
On the floor, the way that they used to work right now, it's also like so much controllable by the organization and the break times and all, it's also impacted in the floor as well. And the working hours, the conditions that not comply with previous regulations as well. So there are several complaints in the past few years, like related to the Walmart employee, that retention rate as well.
Okay. So, do you know now they have changed the strategy? So, what is that strategy they have changed? Is they are using predictive analytics now. That changed the complete purview of Walmart in terms of success, in terms of the happiness of employees, completely. One is because the main thing is number of work hours and all that. So they use a predictive analysis in terms of for the year, what are the holidays for the year? It is based on country specific. For example, if it's India, number of holidays, or if it's US or UK, their national holidays. So it throws out saying that these are the number of holidays, this is the number of people required during holidays. And other than the holidays, because their sales goes only through the holidays. Whenever there's a Saturday, Sunday or holidays, the sales goes, shoots up. So they require a lot of manpower at that point of time. So that strategy they changed completely. So most of the time their employees are now free, happy, work-life balance is completely positive at this point of time. Because they have put the calendar saying that hey, these are the number of days you need to come. The rest of the days, so their sales target is achieved. They have predicted okay number of people who could come on these holidays, and everything is met. So they are doing awesome from organization profit as well as employee EIP scores, satisfaction of employees is all.
So I just have a follow-up.
I have a addition to make. I seem to be the odd man out today. But anyways, I mean, yes, I mean, automation certainly eases out our life. I won't say anything about it, but just adding on to what Jude mentioned, right? You should research on few failures of automations. Okay, and back to these, they're not failure of automation since the automation technology was working. But probably the way in which it was automated, two of the major retailers, the same Walmart, and there's another retailer by name Target. I don't know how many of you have heard about Target. They have done some calculations wrong on their strategy, right? While they was implementing their, particularly I think their supply chain operations automation, and there was one more on customer service operations. So they quickly picked it up, and they were resilient enough to pick it up, but they had seen their own failures also. Huge money was spent on supply chain is not an ordinary, it's not a joke, right? It impacts the entire supply chain of one product line or probably one rack of raw materials that is kept in the warehouse. So at that time, probably what came to the rescue were the same human beings, right? Workers who were working out there. Some of the supervisors, they actually went overconfident and they said, oh, okay, I don't need this guy, probably I'll displace him or her. But when this entire project saw it in the mid-range of their implementation, when the project started to fail to meet its deliverables or its objectives, the same workers had to be rescued upon, right? The rescue was done basis on the same workers. So again, I'll go back to my, my original point of argument, right? Yes, technology is very important. Human beings are much, much more important.
Thank you. So just anybody can answer this question. I mean, we were talking about the happiness of the employees. I mean, do you really think happy employees are highly engaged? Because I mean, we have seen certain studies that even if the employees are happy, they resign or they leave the company. Just wanted to understand in this perspective.
On a very different note, 95% of the studies that are released are not true. So I'm not sure it's part of
Gallup survey.
no, but I think it's the other way. Engaged employees will be happy. I don't know if happy employees will be engaged. As long as I'm engaged, I'm still going to be here. I might be happy, and I'll be even more happier if they give me like 30% like so I will go. But having said that, I think somebody to say is like if I'm engaged, and if I feel that there is a future for me in this company, and I really believe that they have invested in me or they have vested interest in me, then I would definitely stay back in that firm. And I wouldn't jump. But I don't know about the millennium, I mean the Gen Z kind of, I don't know what you guys like. I'd like to know that my company is interested in me, but maybe you have different aspirations. Maybe you want to go to work, so you want to like go and get paid 10 times more. So it depends on each individual, let's say.
So I think I would like to take a question from the thing that we have shared. So we have different workforce in our companies and diverse workforce, like different so many generations, different generations of different countries, diverse work environment. So do you think, I mean, one of the key factors when driving the employee engagement is involvement and belongingness. So how do you see this, I mean, in this today's diverse workforce? And how does the technology comes in place and build the gap between these two factors?
Okay, so you're talking about measurement of engagement, employees are happy, satisfied.
No, I mean, engaging the diverse workforce through technology.
So, are you asking? I'm just
Yeah.
re-clarifying this question. Are you asking that how does technology enable engagement, right? Is that what you say? You could also say that.
Across different.
Diverse, intergenerational workforces.
See, one is we are talking about inclusions. Now, almost all organizations we talk about inclusions, and it's a diversified workforce in every organization, and we are looking at more women leaders in all the projects. So that's the primary focus, which our organization is also coming up, because being a healthcare BPO, we work 24/7. We work in the shifts and all that, but still, wherein if it is a shift timing, wherein we have very less number of women leaders who are part of the shift timings, but because of that, we have men workforce across the functions. We have more of them. So what are we doing about it? How do we bring them? How do we engage employees? So especially whenever women employees go on maternity, that's one of the major challenges which we face. So they go for a maternity, as per the government rules of India, it's 6 months maternity. And after that, there's another 1 month, 2 months, 3 months of extension and all that. So basically, we get issues from the project manager saying that the continuity of project we are not able to. So we can't take females in the projects. So that's the competition, that's the challenge where HR faces. We want to increase the women leaders, the diverse workforce, wherein we want them to be part of every project. If you see HR as a function, we have a lot of ladies here. We have 2 ladies already there. So if you see my department, there is a lot of ladies. Certain functions, there are very less number of female employees who work there, less number of leaders. So in that, we promote for maternity specifically, again, engaging when they come back after maternity, we give them a complete work from home. So we put them in projects where they work from home in spite of the project requirement. And also extension of maternity benefits also we give them. So this is on the where we focus on that. Inclusions in terms of we have different forums. Again, it is supported by a lot of tools. We have tool Parivaradhan is one of our tool-based thing wherein we support the women folks. And Heroes is one of the another forum, again, it is supporting the women folks, wherein women leaders from the organization, from our organization, they talk about the success stories, how they failed and how did they overcome those failures in terms of the work, how did they overcome, how do they manage family, because women always have a challenge in terms of they have to manage both. So how they really manage family as well as work. So those success stories are motivation stories where we have special forums for women so that they get motivated and we don't get resignations. So we control attritions through these forums where we give a lot of importance for women leaders. So in this way, we have a lot of engagement activities and special programs we do for people who work on remote, wherein they don't meet and all that stuff. So we have special programs and also certifications, reskilling, upskilling, and all that. We have a program called Omega Career Lattice Program, wherein every certification, the certification is for 3 months. After every certification, they get an increase in their salary. I'm talking about CPC increase, and which we call it as PBQMI, which is a performance bonus incentive which increases every quarter. This PBQMI is in the history we have brought in this concept where every annually only the salary increases for employees. But for this set of employees, we do a quarterly incentive. It is not only one-time incentive, it is a increase in salary. So these are the techniques, these are the engagement programs, both monetary as well as other support which we give overall from our company.
Ideally, it's a customized solutions for the employees. So you have your views. Okay.
Okay. Another question was also fine.
Sure. So let's keep the end. So, what are the common challenges does any organization go through while you are integrating a new technology in terms of the workforce? And you can share a few common challenges what any organization go through.
Okay, technology, like I said, has been available and will be changing and changing very fast, okay? And when organizations are adopting a technology, thorough understanding about which problem they are solving and whether the tool fits their process or not is really important. And you have to look 5 years ahead while adopting any technology, right? And then the technology changes 5 years ahead. So processes, the way they have to be integrated into the system, and how you would adopt and solve for your challenges through technology. Technology is in every field now. Rewards and recognition, like she said, it's online. There is no more certificates that come as an appreciation. It happens on the tool. It comes into your portal. It is available. You redeem it as you want. Learning technology. There are more online classes that are happening. They are available on the tool. How you want to scale it for which set of employees. That's technology utilization. Earlier, a simple process like recruitment. Okay, now there are a lot of tools which help you scan your resume, shortlist to precise accuracy. So your applicability of selecting is easy. Your process, payroll process, compensations process, everything, a lot of work is done by technology now. So yes, I would go for it.
I think one of the major changes that we face as HR when it comes is definitely the resistance to change in the organization. You're going to bring in something new. There's going to be a set of people who say like, oh, it's not going to work. Why can't we do the same old way? It's been working for so long. Why? So that is something definitely we have to overcome. As the new gen that you're going to go into the workforce, this is something that you will definitely face from the lot of us who will agree in the company and who will not agree to the new challenges that you're or new solutions that you're going to bring. And that may involve technology. So that for sure. And there are various ways how you will overcome that resistance. Clear communication. First, you have to get the buy-in. Whether it's me, whether it is the entire management, whether it's all the employees or the set of people who are going to be affected by it. And how you will get buy-in is by ensuring that the communication is clear, your strategy is clear, and there is more focus on user-based rather than the technology itself. I understand, but you will have to also ensure that it's the target audience. I'm not going to come and talk to you about something that is not relevant to you, right? I will only talk to you and convince you about something that is relevant to you and see how this will benefit you and thereby get your buy. So these are some challenges that you will face and some ways of how you will overcome. I'm sure you guys are much more smarter and come up with more innovative solutions of overcoming these challenges, but yeah, per se on the topic, I think these are a few that we can focus.
Yeah, so I think more than see, people are always curious to know what other problems other persons face. So let's again give a very different shift to this question. I will not call it as challenges, but let's see what opportunities as a leadership team or the workforce has when they're trying to sort of bring about a change in the workforce or in the firm, right? In the ecosystem of an organization. Yeah, one spoke about resistance to change. The other one is which most of the firms do these days, right? When they're doing bringing about a change. One is it should start with how is it linking with my larger firm's mission or the strategic practice that the firm has, right? That I think that linkage is very important, and the top of mind recall value of that connectedness, right, or the alignment with the change that I'm about to bring about versus what I'm trying to achieve in the next X number of years that needs to be called out and it needs to stay in top of minds of people. And that is exactly where communication, as Krithika mentioned, and sometimes over communication helps. Right. Number one. So that's one opportunity that any leadership team has. The second one is about how do you overcome resistance to change? The best way to do is obviously education, training, and all that stuff, right? It's a very vanilla solution. A lot of organizations what to do is, and particularly when they're doing a technical or technology transformations, right, is that they experiment in one part of the course, do a pilot, take the feedback, and do it in an incremental way. It's very agile way of developing a software, right? So they do that. That way, there's a proof of concept that happens on a set of workforce. Take the learnings, read the learnings, repeat them, correct the mistakes, and do it in probably in the second set of proof of concept. And probably like 2-3 iterations you make, and then you know what are, you have a very clear prescriptive view of what should be done, what should not be done, how are people resisting to change, how do you overcome it, what are the technical limitations, because end of the day technology always has a limitation, right? There's a power gone, your entire packet of transmission is gone for a toss. So all of that, right? So I think these incremental ways of doing it, but again doing it in a continuous fashion, really helps. And that's what exactly your agile way of software development, or if you talk about DevOps that we speak too much of these days, which is your CI/CD pipeline, etc., right? All of this, they talk about the same thing, right? I think these things, Shashank, will certainly help in overcoming the challenge. And I try to look at it more like an opportunity rather than a challenge. I hope you all also see in a similar way. Similarity bias.
Thank you. So, in terms of the next theme, so as we were discussing, okay, so now the industry became a candidate-driven market. So, if not you, I have many. Okay, so employee well-being, work-life balance are the most important factors for any organization. So, I mean, how does your healthcare organization? I just wanted to hear from you. So, how does, you have a lot of regulations.
Healthcare, Omega is healthcare, so we take care of healthcare of others. Not only me. On the lighter note. So one is we measure our employees, we do a ESAT on a regular basis. ESAT is not done by us, but we do it with Mercer. So through Mercer, we get the exact what. So ESAT employees satisfaction and loyalty is what we measure. We call it as employee ENPS score. So do you know what is the ENPS highest? What is the lowest? And what is the mid? Any idea? An organization who has scored very high, like Google, you know what is their score? 70 is super duper. 50 is really good. And something below, it starts from minus 100 to plus 100. So anything between 10, 20, okay types. So there's in ENPS, the main question, one of the main questions was answered is, do you refer people to this organization? Is the primary question which is asked. So if you're satisfied, if you're happy, if you're engaged with this company, with Omega, you will definitely say, yes, I will refer. So that's where we do this, and we also review with all the departments on a regular basis with Mercer in terms of where are the touch points, where we are losing out and all that. And with regard to this, we were talking about Amber from the beginning. Amber is an intervention which is a bot tool right from the day of joining. The guy joins as a fresher, the bot comes in. Hey, hi. It says, hi, how's your first day? It talks about how are you doing? How did your manager treat you? How's your work style? Are you happy with your work? After 30 days, again the amber comes in and says, hey, you have completed 30 days. How is your work going on? Are you really getting the grip of your work? So it keeps talking and it also throws feedback, red alert to the HR BPs, HR business partners who are connected with that particular bunch of employees. If there is a red alert saying employee has said, I don't have clarity in my work, the red alert goes. So this is where we get immediately the intervention starts from the HR BP. Meets that person, finds out where is the gap, and we fix it. So this is where we look at mental health, well-being of the employee in the organization. Apart from this, we do a lot of activities. We do mental well-being. We have a doctor on the floor, 24/7 across all facilities. In Chennai, we have 5 facilities. In 5 facilities, we have doctor support 24/7. And we have tied up with hospitals for first aid because in every week we have at least 3 accidents happening because we work 24/7. Employees come in the night shift, they travel by the bikes and all that. There's an accident alert. So immediately the employee is taken from work, he comes, he gets admitted to the hospital, first aid treatment is done. Apart from this, we also provide psychologists. I was telling you about Parivardan. Is a support teams, a set of psychologists and counselors who are there. Any issues, any stress, through this amber we get an alert, through this Parivardan we get an alert saying that, hey, one of your employees from this department is going through a mental trauma. You have to address, she has suicidal tendencies. Please have focus. So immediate attention on that person we give them. So this is how we monitor each and every employee in the organization in terms of both physical, mental well-being. In fact, during this week, yesterday, before and all that, we were conducting Zumba classes. This is more of a physical classes were happening across facility. It is just a 15 minutes, half an hour on the floor, Zumba classes. Just a physical, entertainment for employees. This is how we entertain our employees and cross-check on their mental well-being and support them wherever we have to do the intervention.
Absolutely right. But in this point, I'd like to beg to differ and say that that's where we come in picture, right? We are human relations. In Mercedes-Benz, we're not called human resources, we call human relations. But I think that's where we play a role. So any new person who joins Mercedes gets a card from their department and signed by everybody saying, hey, welcome to the team, blah, 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 we're looking forward to you. And that person gets to keep that card, right? So it's a memory that they will cherish. The first day, of course, we have an HR induction. 30th day, that is an HR connect. 60th day, there's an HR connect. 90th day, there's an HR connect. There's also a connect with your manager, with your skip level manager within the first 3 months to understand the pulse of the person. And you interact with that person day in and day out. Of course, we have hybrid working, so that means that a lot of the times you won't be there. But we also make it mandate to come and meet once a month. You decide when you want to do it. But once a month, you guys have to come over to office and meet. So I know if you're still alive or not. And if you're still working, etc. So there I feel that the human touch definitely plays a big role. And apart from that, we have policies like hybrid working, where we give you the flexibility of flexi working, however we want to call it. Wellness apps, wellness seminars, extensive hair checkups. Like he said, on-call psychologists that are available for you to talk to. But of course, that's what colleagues are for as well. I think you'll have to, one of the engagement index or scoring that we have in our pulse survey is, do you have a best friend at work? And you'll have to have it. Because you'll have to have like a work bestie. Otherwise, you'll go mad. So I write about my boss to her, which she does to me so that we can vent it out. They're very healthy. Otherwise, it's going to be extremely claustrophobic in your mind. So that. We also have something called mandate break. Also being part of the financial segment, the financial services industry. I'm sure if any of you are from the same industry, you understand that everybody has to go on a mandate leave, a block leave, 5 days or 10 days together, and it's mandate. Whether you go or not, we will do that. So it's better that you utilize it. So there we can bring about some work-life balance. We encourage you to take more of that. And to encourage it even more, now we have something called a brand experience program. So if you take a mandate leave, we will give you a work car for that week to go and experience it with your family. So you can take that car out, go right down to Jaipur, to wherever you want. So that's an added experience. Added bonus for you to go on that break. So yeah, we try to do things like this to encourage. Of course, I have a big list, but I move on and give it to you.
Okay. So I think, yeah, I mean, they both are right in their own ways, right? But I'll again try to give you a different perspective, right? So imagine that until I think probably pre and post COVID, these are the two aspects which actually changed drastically. Right? One is your employees or human mindset of flexibility as a part of the C2C, okay, invisible figure somewhere. Probably the second one is your physical well-being, health and safety and all. That's one bit. Okay, now I'll go to my original point of conversation that I wanted to make. Now imagine that 4 or 5 years down the lane ago, you had a person in the HR team who used to go to employee focus groups and talk about how well are, what is your health patient quotient and all. That all is changed now. Now it is all replaced by your tele partners who basically call you and then ask you about your health and well-being, you need a doctor appointment, blah blah blah. And all. So all fun. Again, technology, labor, you have a bot asking, and as I said, right, some labor and all. So all of this is fun, technology advancements. Now, guys, tell me one thing. So when you take up a job as an HR generalist in any firm, what do you think your role will become? You have a bot, right, which will take care of your stakeholders' well-being, whatever the well-being is, right? Psychological well-being, financial well-being, health, etc. etc. But what do you do with it? So why should people hire an HR generalist? Why do you need it? You have another bot who will do
Forgetting the bots.
yeah, no,
Forgetting the bots.
I'll tell you what, for getting the bots, you have your IT teams, right? Who will talk to your HR, existing HR folks, probably design the algorithm, prepare a virtual assistant or a chatbot. Okay, what's up, right? It's more of technology evolution. Now, what will HR do?
Jude mentioned.
What?
Analyze that result from
Analysis also I'm telling you. So that's exactly my point. So analysis also the bot does. It will throw you a chart, very complex, probably a sunburst chart or some chart, scattered diagram, and it will also give you the story points.
act on it.
These are the outliners. Act on it, yeah. Act on it is who should act on it? Should it be HR? Should it be the business, the leaders? Because at the end of the day, the engagement, again, this is another fundamental question that we all should always keep in mind as HR professionals is engagement is not HR's job. Engagement is the job of the line leader. It's not HR job. HR's always job has been and is and will be is to act like a mirror. That's all. HR's job is to show the reflection of how only the firm is operating at. That's all it is. Okay, and that's my personal take. Okay, now I'll go back, right? So, what is your job in an era or in an ecosystem where you have 100 bots for measuring your engagement, another 20 bots measuring your burnout rate, another 20 bots for whatsoever, right? You have like tons and tons of bots. Probably you have a metaverse environment, you have a gamification tool. What's up, okay? It's all good. I'm not saying they're bad. Okay. Now then, what will HR do? So in the context of this question on well-being, right, my personal take is HR should anticipate the future, the risk of the entire people system. And that's where exactly the human mind comes into picture. Because risk prediction, and particularly when it surrounds around human components of an organization, is something that only HR can do. Obviously in collaboration with the business leaders, because the pulse of the flow of the team members or the employees or associates, whatever you call, is basically channeled through the managers. Right? So HR role as HR generalist role or HR's role Whether you are in comp and ben, whether you are in talent acquisition, whether you are a generalist, whether you are in employee relations, doing investigations, fact finding, etc., etc. One key component of HR that will never go is your ability to forecast risk and work with the leadership team to bring the risk or mitigate the risk. So always vary your risk. Okay. Coming from banks, I know how much risk plays an important role. There are 7-8 types of risk. I will not get there. It's paid in details.
Yes, we can.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We are mandated to have a chief risk officer for every NBFC and banking financial units, companies.
People discuss
It's his job to tell us what the risk is, our job only to find a solution. But anyways, I think that is something we have to have inherent of whichever job we do. We take care of it. Sorry, take care of it.
Oh, a long answer. Like everyone's speaking like something.
No, I open if somebody differs, whatever.
Oh, we have secured enough.
As an HR leaders, okay, you have a lot of tools to get the analytics, the pulse of the employees involved. So, I mean, can you share us any of the experience where you have changed certain strategies or policies based on this insights that you have got from the tool and all?
So we recently, and this is very new for me, so we recently had the survey results, and we are like, unlike the sales of Mercedes-Benz, India is probably at the top in terms of engagement index. So we've got a 4.3 out of 5, which is again very good within the mark world. Yeah, but still, when you do a deep dive into it, or when we went and did a deep dive into it, we realized that there were very high positive scores from the leaders, very high positive scores from the staff, but the middle managers were the ones who were pulling down the score. Okay, and yeah, and then so we had some FGDs, focus group discussions, some candid conversations with them, found out what's bothering them, how it is, and realized that neither the leaders nor the staff respect them. So in terms of respect, in terms of resources, they're challenged at all times because you'll have to deliver what your boss is asking. At the same time, your team is not cooperative enough. So how do you manage that whole thing? So the highest pressure goes to that set of people, and hence we started focusing on them and seeing how we can relieve that pressure. So that's something that definitely the tool helped. Of course, it's a very anonymous survey, so we wouldn't know who gave what, but it will give you at least a level classification and things like that. So that was very helpful for us.
Okay, so there's this tool which is called Talent Match, where it finds employees with the size of the organization. There are different verticals and very different nature of work that employees do, from analytics to BPO to development, data, tech. So every employee is so very different. They can't be intermoved in the organization, right? So based on the employees who are moving out and their utilization internally, the possibility of internal movement, and that analysis report, there is this talent match team that was built in, wherein the bot identifies close match among existing resources versus the opening there, and throws alerts to the managers saying this employee based on the profiles that are built is 50% match, 60% match, and over a period of 3 months with so and so training, they can be moved into the roles that are available or can be available based on the line of sight. And this tool was built based on the data that was coming from the employees that we are losing when the rundowns were happening or the change of client scope of work was happening. And they were in like 2.5 years. I can't share the number, but we made considerable number of IJPs and moved employees between non-technology to technology scopes. So I think that's where we were able to take the challenge and build based on the data reports.
You wanted to add something? Okay. So guys, I think I will not ask. I'll stop my questions. I would like to ask. I mean, I would like to get questions from you all. So I think most of the guys are sleeping. Or it's not sleeping. One by one. Let's take one by one.
So, very good evening to all the panelists. The question that I wanted to ask is, what do you all think about automation in the recruitment process? And how effective it is, and how much to automate this process?
So you will be the ideal person to answer. We can do it.
Yeah. So thank you for the question. So it's very much relevant from my experience. So guys, I mean, just I'm sharing my real time example. So I'll not put any data or news articles. So if I put one job posting in any of the social media, LinkedIn, okay. So within 1 hour, I'll get almost like 1,000 applicants on an average for any job. So how much relevant applications I'm going to get, I don't know. So I use ATS, I mean various ATS and all. So I use this technology to screen profiles, okay, and I'll also get, I mean, how much relevant. So they'll pick up certain keywords. So obviously I should give the input. So how, I mean, how many profiles are matching? I mean, what percentage of profile is that profile matching to the keyword what I've given? 80%, 90%, then I open it. So I'll save my time. So definitely, I utilize technology, and because of technology, the experience for the candidate is improving. Experience for me is also improving, and there are various tools like we can code 180 for level, so which is very popular, and we have Workday. We have so many tools from IBM also. So definitely, I mean, it is helping the recruitment or the recruiters a lot. Yeah, any additions?
They also send automatic emails for.
Yeah, everything end to end.
Okay. I was heading the talent acquisition for some of the companies, and this is my experience. If you are telling me if a tool we have used, for example, in Polaris, we have used some 3-4 tools in recruitment. We changed it again and again. In Omega, we have changed almost 3 tools. So what does it mean? None of the tools, all the tools are useless. We can get resumes, as he said, in terms of getting resumes. But guys, let me tell you, the applicants are more smarter. You do something, they become more smarter. I'm talking about resume punching. Okay, I throw a requirement job description in LinkedIn or in Naukri through the portal site. I throw in from a company. The guy, he is not a specialist in any of the skills, maybe not Java or nothing, but he prepares 5 different resumes. And the resumes are all as per my JD. And he sends it, and Shashank will get all the resumes. So shortlisted. So he shortlists because it's a tool. It searches the keywords and throws. So the genuine candidates, they don't come to think. So I believe the old systematic process, what we do, wherein now still we have duplication of resumes, wherein when the guy joins, when he's getting orientation, then we find out this guy has really come into a, because even your video call, he can duplicate very easily. Everything is done, but still we have hired him. And we know on the first day that he's not that candidate. So whatever tools might come, we are still failing in recruitment. But whatever we did in the earlier thing, I've been seeing the earlier, I was with EDS emphasis, and I'm here with Omega. we have seen so many tools, but meeting the candidate, first level of interview with the technical panel, second level of interview with the technical panel in person, and third level of interview with the HR is the best screening process, I would say. You might get huge number of resumes. Why you are getting huge number of resumes? I will do 10 different resumes and send it. Send it to this company, send it to whichever is the skill set. So honestly speaking, I don't believe it is just a selling points from the vendors. This is my tool, this will do excellent, this will throw this will throw that, but nothing it throws is useful. So that's the
Yeah, I mean, to answer your question, absolutely, in absolute terms, right? You can actually automate 99% of anything. But the subsequent question that you should ask, what's her name? Ishita. So the subsequent question that you should ask Ishita is the weightage of the coefficient of the weightage, right? Of this 99% versus that 1%. Okay. And he was spot on. Because see, the end objective of any talent acquisition function or forget talent acquisition, any leader is going to be that having the right talent at the right time. Okay, in the right role. All three has to intersect. Right? You can have an APS system which will capture all that stuff and it will automate, it will throw you interesting analysis on yes, these are the people and all stuff. So there are again limitations to that technology. So another technology involved. So today we are talking about certain very high advanced technologies like how many of you have heard about DALI? Anyone who has heard about DALI? Yeah. So DALI can analyze videos, it can analyze pictures. So it can actually also avoid deepfake imaging also. So probably you can have technology as a lever, but that 1% of conversation, that powerful conversation, will actually help the person having the right person in the right role, right. That exactly will help deliver your end objective of the context why a role was created in the first place. Right? Yeah, technology you can always use it for for your speeding up process. You can probably work some 10-15 minutes of job or 10-15 hours of job. Yes, it's 10 minutes. So the question that you asked is not wrong, but the question should actually be tweaked. Will it still serve the mantra or the premise of which a talent acquisition function exists? Right? So, and not your fault, but that's how typical people think about it. Will technology solve my problem? Yeah, technology will solve your problem, but to what extent? How effective the solution is something that you always have to ask as a follow-up question. Always remember that.
See, the main thing why we have ended up in this problem is the managers. For example, I have 5 open positions. Okay, I don't have the time to interview. They'll say, hey, I don't have the time. So because of they skip that I don't have the time, it is becoming a tool based. So the tool interviews, the tool does everything, and then finally it's a failure. So the old managers who open up the positions, they say, no, I don't have the time. And companies are opening up 100 positions. If you see, for example, check with all our companies, there will be 600 open positions at any given point of time, or 500 open positions at any given point of time. Imagine who has the time to interview, screen them and all that, but before we pick up candidates, we interview them and they are selected and they do a good job. The main thing because of so many tools have emerged is because we have become lazy. We have become lazy and we want the tool to do it. So that made the vendors to bring in A to Z tools. It's a marketing, it's a sales completely. My tool is better than her tool. She will say, my tool is better than this. And if you see, all this are all in the same bucket only. Nothing is going to change. It's all because of our laziness. We don't have the time to interview. We don't have the time, patience to see the candidate. See, every interview goes through 3 levels minimum. last would be the HR talking and all that, or the first also would be the HR for screening the resume and all that. Everything is team based. So what will be the quality of interview?
We don't have to, say that. Because we posted one management training position on LinkedIn, and believe me, I got so many calls from placement committees on my personal, I don't know, personal phone. But nevertheless, we have 10,000 resumes. 10,000 resumes, and I don't have a team to cater to it. So instead of okay, keep those 10,000 resumes ahead, we will go placement at 5 minutes. Finished. We will go in person and hire. So maybe the tool may help, may not help. 10,000 resumes, I don't have the time anywhere. None of our people have the time to go through each and every resume. Everybody is applied for every position. Doesn't matter. If you are specialized in HR, you are specialized in 2-3 aspects, right? Marketing and finance. Business analyst, marketing also he's applied. Finance analyst also he's applied. I'm like, dude, where will I consider you? So we said, okay, fine. We're scrapping all 10,000 resumes. We will go in person in higher cost management trainings. So many different places, different approaches.
Yeah, I'll just probably add one more. I'm so passionate about this, right? So you guys have to understand what unique proposition this entire set of 50-60 grants are going to provide to firms. Okay. Now, tier 3 India offering out there are tons and tons of them. You ask them a question, they will talk about Kenexa, they will talk about Bradstreet, they will talk about Liver, they will talk about Workday, they will talk about SAP, they will talk about PeopleSoft. I'm telling you, there are n number of those. Okay. Now, what will this entire crowd will make a difference is about what I'm going to do with all of them. If I don't have the right person at the right person, the right role and at the right time, right? Now, the reason why I'm telling all of this is because knowing tools is one application acumen, or you can say it's functional. It's not functional acumen, it's technical acumen. You should certainly know about those tools. That's not wrong. But what are we going to do with that? How effectively are we going to use it? Is it throwing me right, output or not? What am I going to do with it? Because all these tools, right? Whether it is these tools or any AI or generative AI and all, they are built on something called as a solid currency called data. Okay. Now generative AI, so that's traditional AI. Generative AI went one step beyond. It said that okay, fair enough. User A is giving me 10 petabytes of data. Okay, I'm mining it. And then sort of throwing some predictive analysis or some predictions on it or some conclusions on it. That's traditional AI. Generative AI is saying that okay, this is the data that I have got, 10 petabytes. I will mine it, churn it, and then I'll give you another 5 petabytes of data with certain inbuilt algorithms and a lot of use. There are a lot of technical jargon, they're not yet there, but it will generate a new set of data, it will generate a new set of inferences for you. Okay, so that's the second step. Now, even if there's a generative AI also, the matter is that as a user of the data, how are you going to use it? So, end of the day, the context, data without context is of zero value. Okay. So your context is very important, and that is where the power of human beings lie. Right? Probably, I might be wrong. There could be a second generation of AI or a third generation of generative AI, which will also sort of solve that problem, the context problem. Okay, but you will still have some work to do.
Just finish off with my real-time experience. So, can you guys believe that? How many of you know about this tool called Handshake? Placement team or anyone? Handshake.
What handshake?
It's a
Tool called handshake.
Yeah,
Oh, I
handshake.
didn't know that.
So, can you guys believe that sitting in Hyderabad, I've completed my hiring in US for campus recruiting. 95% of the universities in the US are covered with this tool called Handshake. And as a recruiter, I can post my job in Handshake, and all the universities can apply, students can apply, and I can book slots of the college. I can book parking slot. Okay, and it's not like in India. Okay, So we call you for the interview and we keep on waiting for a day and all. Selected students will select an interview slot and that specific slot is used to for the to interview. Okay, so students have full right to choose the interview slot. Okay, so it's a real time example. I've almost hired 15 folks in the US by sitting in India. Please make the note of this tool called Anju. So I'll open for another question.
Good evening, panelists. I'm Shashank. And my question is that while discussion of various AI tools, there has been a mention of this tool called Amber, and um, it is used for evaluating the psychological well-being of the employees. So when I'm speaking to the perspective of a fresher or a grad who has recently joined the firm, so he or she might be under some kind of intimidation and end up giving false positives that even when they are not feeling okay, they may say that they are feeling okay, and or vice versa. So if we are like trying to generate data for employee satisfaction based on these data, and we receive false positives. So how do we deal with these false positives? And if we intend to deal with this by using a secondary filter, like something like multi-factor checking for this, what kind of ideas can we think about if we intend to use this?
First of all, this Amber is not to check the mental well-being of employees. I just wanted to correct that. It is basically the satisfaction of the employee on all aspects. It's not a psychological tool or intervention to check the psychological condition of the person. It is about the well-being of the employee in the organization. Okay? So it is done right from the fresher to the senior person also, and also at different intervals. And during any of the intervals, okay, it is not that a fresher will reveal everything immediately. For example, I'm talking to you. I'm new today, I met you and all that. Will you be able to reveal everything to me? Will you talk to me freely on the day one? You will check with me, you will see the pulse of how trustworthy is this person? Can I talk to this person? I have to get the confidence from you. You take time to reveal yourself. It's not so easy. You will come and tell everything on this day one or day two or day three. Unless until the organization gives that comfort and the employees feel that there's an organization called Parivartan who interferes, who comes, rescues people, then they open up. So it's not so easy to come out with their stress or suicidal thoughts or any mental illnesses which they are going through, we will not. Okay. In terms of coming to your point, in terms of any faults, the person, there are two things. One is people are genuine, they want some help. They come out, they say, hey, I'm not able to cope up. I feel a lot of suicidal thoughts when I get into work. This is an alert. Okay. So many times I would say that I told you the HR meeting gets an alert, whether it's true or false. We are not there to judge, but we are there to introspect. Because for example, many employees, when they are not able to perform, they come up with this kind of conditions and all that. So the HRPP gets into it. For example, if the message is from a lady, from a women employee through the Amber that this kind of she's going through, immediately an HRPP women will get into this. Along with that Parivartan group, which I told you, a set of psychologists and counselors. So immediately the employee doesn't get into it. She gets that person connected with the Parivartan group. Okay, they are a set of specialized who are certified psychologists and counselors. I am a psychologist. I can talk to you and find out whether you're really going through a stress or anything. A specialist can easily find out. A real doctor can find out whether you have an illness. Yes or no? So those kind of stress or illness, so the Parivartan group, they assess and they say, hey, this is just, she's playing the fool, just leave it. Or they will say, hey, she's undergoing a very strenuous, stressful at home. You need to have a focus. So the HR VP connects with the managers. If it is at work, she's undergoing some stress, the counseling has to be given to the manager. What kind of work is given? Why she's being stretched in work after working hours? So these are the counseling techniques which we do to the managers, to the team leaders who's supervising her. If it is at home, probably she has some problem with husband or with in-laws or any kind of situation, we immediately contact the home. Their people, their mother or father, and tell them, hey, your daughter or your son is going through this. It is not only daughters, sorry, we get male employees also. So we tell them, this is a red alert, he or she is going through this. But if it is going to be false, we easily find out. So that judgment is easily done within a span of time. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, so possibly like 90 minutes extension, right? 90 seconds, sorry. So that's precisely why AI is such a complicated field. What's your name? Shanti. Okay, so Shanti, see, AI is a multidisciplinary field. Okay? It just does not comprise only of a programmer or an AI expert coding some bot or coding some application. The proposed application. AI is actually a multidisciplinary field. So you have a psychologist, you have a clinicologist, you have those counselors, you have a programmer who actually work, collaboratively, and they basically create these algorithms and all. So it is not very difficult to identify a false positive or false alert like this. So you can always fool the system. Now, what it will certainly do, and I might sound like I'm contravening my own statements, but what it will certainly tell you is that it will give you an outliers, it will show you an outliers in terms of possibly these are the people who are trying to fool the system. Now, that alert will go to the person who is actually a super user or someone who is administering the product. Okay? Now, what this person has to do is that he or she needs to make the right human intervention and then make sure that the engagement happens and then find out what exactly went wrong, right? So sometimes, what these engagement survey done, that's why I'm not so big fan of these engagement survey bots, is because I asked Shashank a question that rate your last 2 months experience or 3 months experience in the firm since you joined. You say, if I say disagree, if I say strongly disagree, probably my manager will come to know, or probably someone sitting in the HR will come to know. I'll just probably agree. But probably just 90 minutes before the conversation, you would have had a nasty conversation with his manager. Okay. And that's an exception, right? So that's precisely why I'm saying reliance on technology is good for at least 60%. Okay, because you see the field itself is evolving, right? Probably tomorrow when we meet, next year when we meet again in some conclave or probably you are in some other forum where I meet you there, the technology would have evolved, right? To reduce the number of exceptions, but exceptions will always be. So don't over rely on technology.
We'll take one last.
She has something to add.
I just keep my answer specifically to how the app or tool works. Okay, like I said, it captures the experience of that particular employee of that particular time frame. Okay, and it's like Jude said, it's a recurring thing. It captures the experience that is different employees at different time frames. That time frame can be set by the organization. You want feedback to be taken every 2 days, it can do it. I know the false alerts. I will not say false alerts. Today, I could be feeling a little jittery. Even a simple question I might answer saying that I'm not happy. Answer is not wrong. I'm feeling unhappy, so I'll write unhappy. So these triggers, wherever the employee on a scale of 5 or 6, whatever scale is being set up, after a certain percentage, it would show that employee mood score is bad or neutral or very bad. These triggers go to one level up, not the immediate manager, but one level up, because the concern can be of the immediate manager, so that's how the tool is designed. Then the 1 hour manager or the leader from that hierarchy is expected to meet the employee within 7 days. Again, the time frame is specific to my organization. Every organization can set it in its own way. Meet the employee, capture the details. Is it one-hour instance? Is it because of something else that it has triggered that emotion? Or is it a genuine concern that is unsolved for or unattended for? Once the issue is solved for, there is a note session in which what is the solution, what is the action is captured and closed. So the bot analyzes not just the experience, it also captures the action. So analysis is done on the actions, how much of it worked and how much of it didn't work as well. So the organization at a larger level knows common set of problems and common set of resolutions that are working.
Actually, the time is up, but we'll take one last call.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Soumya. We all know the domain that we today are discussing has been introduced in the industry since 1930s. Earlier, it was known as personal management, and now we have started calling it as HR. But now the question has come that there are certain people who are opposing or objecting to call humans as resources. So now I want to take your stand over this issue.
Okay. Good question. So my designation is, I have gone through a lot of designations during my 25 years plus years of experience. I worked in a manufacturing company, okay, Kone Elevators. Year is 1999, 98. So at that point of time, the concept was personal management, okay, personnel management. That's how we say personnel management. I did my MSW from Loyola. So the specialization was MSW in personnel management and industrial relations, not HR. So the trend is changing. Okay, there's no question of argument and all that. Now you know what is my designation. Talent management. We belong to the talent management function. And Shashank belongs to talent acquisition. So we call them as talent. We don't call them as resources. We call it as talent. So the resource is full of talent. So we manage the talent. We manage the recruitment of talent. So nowadays, so probably after 2 years, the concept might change. We may not call talent. Senior director, talent management will not be there. Something else will be there. People man or people's officer or people experience or Superman, Batman, anything could come out. So the trend is changing, the concept is changing, but we are evolving. The HR practices are the same. The benefits are the same. The technology is coming in. The language is also changing. We use a lot of jargons, stylish words, and all that. That's it. HR remains the HR forever. Whether we are talent management, talent acquisition, personnel management, we manage HR, human resources. We are all human resources. Resource. Why should they call resources something where it's very potential, very difficult to get? We call that only as resource, right? Resource, we don't call this as a resource. No. Everything is a resource. So whichever is difficult to get is called as resource. So the terminology will change, the naming of the jargons will come and all that, the processes, the touch for human being is always there. So that will never change at all. Even any AI, advanced tools, everything will come. But the human touch will never go. As human resources.
I was called director of people happiness in my previous organization. Okay. So my job was to keep everybody happy. I said, okay, give them a lot of money, they'll be happy. Nothing. My job is very simple. Keep on giving them increment every month. You'll have the most engaged employees, but it's not possible. Like he said, I was doing the same job where I was doing earlier when I was called human resources. Now when I'm called human relations. Earlier when I was called people, human resources, partnering, whatever you want. I think it's like more so nowadays we put our brackets name like he, him, something, they, them, something, she, her. So it's basically what we are adapting to the new. Work-wise, nothing's going to change people. So if you're going to come anywhere in HR, same old, same old. We'll be doing the same thing.
You can add your own.
Yeah, you can decide on it. I think that's what the future will come to. You know, you will give you a list of designations, pick your own choice.
I think that's a very good idea.
What? You know?
Picking up the title.
Okay. So, slightly different thing. Just no, not necessarily. So, yeah, I was seeing one YouTube video on a fun note, on a side note. I follow Sadhguru's video. I don't know how many guys know Isha Foundation Circle, right? He also mentioned, and someone asked him in some diversity conference and all, he said, human resources looks very, I mean, I will not use the word he used, but he said it should be called as human possibilities. But again, some part of our work remains the same over the last few years, few decades, it remains the same. Now, the fabric of the work has changed. You are always wearing clothes, right? So earlier, probably, you were wearing some XYZ fabric, now you're wearing different fabric. You're wearing linen, you're wearing Jude or whatsoever, right? So it has changed. So that fabric of the role has changed. Okay. Now, had you graduated 10 years back and you would have taken up a new job at that point of time, like an HR generalist, don't worry about don't pay attention to the designation. Okay? You're getting the generalist role. Okay? So your job was to do this human, your employee connects, your write an analogy and analysis around it and do all that. Now all that is technology doing. Now what has changed? I think that should be a question. What has changed over the last X number of years? Designations are mechanical level change over. You have to now the expectation of a people professional or an HR professional is about how you partner with your business, right? How you play the role of a consultant, a genuine consultant, and help them grow a business, right? Now, how can, and again, I'm not answering this question, I'm only giving you questions, so you should think about it. Put the thought. How can HR today is a cost center can evolve from being a cost center to a profit center? How can HR directly contribute to the bottom line of the firm? Right? Whether it is profit, whether it is reducing expenses, whether it is bringing value, whatever shape and form, doesn't matter. Now, I'm telling you all this because this questions, probably some more, which you should think about, they will bring you a unique value proposition for the set of people. Not how to do job evaluation. There are tons of methods of doing job evaluation. Historically, karte aaye hain, karte rahenge, right? But what you should ask is that now how I give value back to my business partners? That should be a question. Right? What am I a profit center or am I a cost center? Should I continue to be a burden on the organization's bottom line? Now, people, and I'm telling this because today this is the point that a lot of firms are talking, right? Geopolitical environment, there is pressure on everyone's revenues. You're giving 10x, then people expect 10% year-on-year salary increment. But are firms growing at 10%? Are the revenues growing at 10%? I don't know. You have to answer that. That's another question you should ask, right? And tons of that. So your question should be as to what is the motto of what I'm doing and giving back to the firm. Salaries and all these are all important, not denied. But they all are variables. So you play the larger equation of your existence in the company. Okay. So don't worry about the job designations. Worry about what value you bring to the table.
So I think I can close this session. We are late by 3 to 4 minutes.
You can give one last question.
One last question.
If you want to ask more questions, my name is Krithika, Sivanesan, you can reach me on LinkedIn. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll ask you one question. Maybe think about it. Okay? So a couple of years back, I was not so fond, but I had to study because I was in some very difficult situation. I had to go through the time. Now this is called Gartner's hype cycle. Now what Gartner's hype cycle talks about is by 2025, a technologist programmer, right, will have to work with another AI machine who is a business analyst. Okay. By 2050, there will be 2 system architects who will be working on the floor, but they are actually not human beings. They are 2 artificial machines. Right? Probably there is a manager who is overseeing them. And the list goes on 2075 the player. I don't know. I don't want to question the credibility of Gartner because obviously there are a lot of intelligent minds have worked for probably for a lot of time in coming up with an article. So no offense or no disrespect to the brevity of the article. Probably they are saying true. Now, what you should question this is that today we're talking about employee engagement. When we're saying employee engagement, we're talking about 2 variables or 2 variables, and a human being to another human being engagement. That's the equation connector, connecting between two human beings. How will the engagement definition change in the context of this so-called Gartner hype cycle? Right? When Shanti is working with Ishita today, so we're calling engagement between Shanti and Ishita. Now tomorrow Ishita has gone doing something else, she's taken up some other role. Now Shanti is being made to work with another bot. Okay. Now how does the engagement definition change between the bot ABC.2345 versus Shanti? That's the food for thought that you should all think. When human beings are replaced in the general parlance by another. So we are working with another colleague who doesn't have an identity, but the person is it is an equipment. So from he or she it becomes it. Right? So how will the definition of engagement change? Think about it. Yeah. You don't engage, yeah.
Ultimately, AI cannot do whatever humans can do.
I have not said that.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good.
One last.
Take the survey setting. How we are working keeps changing over every 20-30 years, right? Earlier it was agriculture, then manufacturing industry based. Then most of our fathers, grandfathers were in government jobs, typically, and then the corporate world started, right? Maybe 10-20 years later, it would be very, very different. Might not be anything like what you are studying today. What you should look out is for the changes that are coming in constantly. Like every 4 years, 5 years, then some or the other changes come. So do not stop learning and start looking very actively against what changes are going to happen and start learning. As you adopt, you will navigate through very easily. Thank you.
You done?
I think that was a very, very engaging session with different perspectives that were put on our table, right? So I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to all the guests here and to the moderator for the enlightening event. So to all the panelists, I would like to highlight the key takeaways on behalf of the students that we got from the session. So we started off with employee engagement and the technological shift. We heard Satya ma'am and Jude sir talk about how technology has impacted HR practices before and after pandemic. Sangeet sir went on to elaborate on how technologies come and go, they keep evolving, but the human aspect and people engagement has never changed, and that's also plays a very crucial role. Krithika ma'am then went on to explain on how it's the purpose that ultimately matters and that drives the employees. And then the discussion then moved towards the different changes happening around employee engagement in the technological era. Satya ma'am and Krithika ma'am briefed us on the different employee experience tools. Sangeet further briefed us about gamification of learning and development and its impact. He says that don't succumb to technology and focus on fostering networking. On the other hand, we had few points on how gamification of learning programs can be very effective too. Jude sir further added on how analytics play a very transformative role by giving the classic example of Walmart. I think, cracking the right balance is the key here. We then had a discussion around how technology impacts and helps diversity and inclusion of the employees. We also had different aspects of challenges and opportunities to the HR related to the advent of technology. We also got insight on how a delicate balance between technological tools and human relations, as Krithika ma'am put, are very crucial for ensuring employee well-being. We had an engaging Q&A session and we thank the panelists for answering all the queries of our students. Thank you very much, and let's give a round of applause for all the panelists who have taken the time their efforts to share their insights. Now, I would like to request Professor Utkarsh sir to give the thanksgiving to our faculties, to our panelists. Shri Satya, Mama. Sangeet, Nyapati. Thank you so much, sir. Now I will request people sir to please come forward and felicitate of Jude, Xavier and Ms. Krithika. Thank you so much, sir. I would request Shashank sir to please come forward and felicitate Mr. Shashank. I would also like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Mr. Shashank sir for accepting to moderate our event. So thank you very much, sir, for moderating the event with all the enthusiasm. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you did a great job, yeah. Whichever organizing team it was, you've done an amazing job from a lot of things, from coordinating with us, putting up with us, and ensuring to follow up. I personally interacted with Adarsh, and yes, they did a great job.